Good morning. Welcome back to the 20 hour. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy
Ha-
Mother's Day,
Happy
moms.
Mother's Day to all the 79 people that we have.
79, you
If
said
you're
80.
mothers, have a great Mother's Day.
Oh. Happy Mother's Day to mom.
Mom,
Happy Mother's Day.
happy Mother's
Uh,
Day.
so, how's everything going? How's your week? You were home all week.
Yeah, I was home all week and then it was kind of a shit show on my job. I'm not going to mention what people know I work for a certain railroad, but some of the contractors were just a shit show. I had to shut them down because they had no clue what the fuck they were doing. It's just
Motherfucker.
amazing how a
Yeah,
big fucking company that I look out for and they just have no clue what the fuck's going on.
we'll just
Jumping
leave it at that.
around, digging holes, doing dangerous shit. And I'm like, okay, you guys are done. Friday, you're no longer on the railroad anymore. So that was my week. It was nice. I didn't have to travel. I came home every night, so it was nice. I start traveling again next year.
Yeah.
Next week I'll be in
Next week,
Utah.
yeah.
So
My week is normal. Work 6 days, delivering packages. You same thing. So,
there we
nothing
go.
new on my end.
There we go.
So,
Get the complaining out.
but yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
what else is going on? Nuggets? Fuck.
Nuggets. Here we
I
go.
mean, let's go Nuggets. You know,
We're going to be joined with my daughter-in-law, which is going to come in here in a couple minutes. And we got there she is.
I'm
hey,
here.
Raggedy Ann! What's up?
Hello. Good morning, everybody.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
How
This
is
is
everything?
my lovely daughter-in-law. This is Kayla, and she has
Okay.
a
Hey.
a
Hey.
Hey.
she she has a story to tell us. I guess this is a true story back in the 30s,
1930s, yeah. Like
1930s.
early beginning of like Nazi party history. So
And we
it's
actually had a
going way,
couple
way back.
comments. Did you guys ever think about doing testing for twins? And this is kind of goes into that. So I wrote them back saying that we're going to have a special guest this week talking about that. So
Sweet.
Because we found out we read each other's minds,
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
which is the number two question. And I looked up a bunch of stuff for twins, and that's all over the website. The three major questions.
And you
And
know
they read
what?
minds.
And I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, see, look how great that works.
Yeah. It's like a mind fucking blowing thing
This is wild. I'm watching it happen in real
in real
life.
life.
So I think that definitely this is going to be one kind of test. These are going to be nothing but horrible. So definitely like for this blanket trigger warning, if anything, these are pretty deep into just like kind of the crazy theories going on during that kind of part of history and that part of the world. And I definitely think that twin testing, this will fit right in. This will fit.
So where was this? Where was this at? Was it in the U.S. or was it like?
No, so when so we're going to be talking about Joseph Mengele. He was a Nazi doctor, and
What the fuck are you doing?
I was just sitting there looking.
You're
While
just
listening.
like,
I mean, great. Let's go. Let's
okay.
do
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
you're learning.
Oh,
So this all kind of took place heavily in Auschwitz, all the way out there. He was actually a lead researcher. He was a lead doctor out there, and kind of his career began when he was actually a medic for the war. So he actually served in the war, got injured, and then took all of his degrees and knowledge to Auschwitz, where he became a lead selector, and then got pretty much free range to do these horrible things to particularly twin children.
where is
So
Auschwitz? Did I say that
that's
right?
all in Germany.
Germany. Okay. Did I
Yeah,
pronounce that
so all
right?
of this took place out in
Auschwitz.
Germany.
Auschwitz.
Auschwitz.
Auschwitz. Say that
sounds
fucking
like
10
sounds
times.
like an alcohol beverage. Hey, bartender, can I get an Auschwitz?
Can I get
Can I
two
get
Auschwitzes on the rocks? A little bit salt on top. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shaken, not stirred.
Yep.
So I guess like to go all the way back, he wasn't like the only person doing horrible things. This was kind of taking place after Hitler had kind of already eradicated a lot of like democracy and civil liberties. Like we're in the meat of when he pretty much just was running that country. And so there was even institutes that he studied at that pretty much focused on, really the main thing was racial purity, racial hygiene. And that was really where they learned a lot of that kind of like promote. I know my little flips.
I just turned. I just turned my light.
He just turned
I just turned my light on.
Like,
hey, there I am.
Hey. And so pretty much, he was born in 1911 in Bavaria. He was a rich guy born into a rich family, studied anthropology, medicine, and philosophy, but then got his degrees in anthropology and medicine. And he studied under another famous eugenicist, Omar. And after he kind of like got all that figured out, he went and joined the Nazi party. And his father was kind of associated with that as well. So this was kind of just, what the family did. There, you grew up, you joined the Nazis.
What the fuck?
Family business.
Family bit, exactly. There are actually a lot of current landmarks, but his family were big into donating things, and so out there are a lot of like playgrounds with the Mengele family name still printed on there. A lot of just kind of like donative sites like that the family's still active in that community. So it is interesting to see like they're still out there doing things. So we can kind of get into who he was as a person. There are survivors of Joseph Mengele that have done documentaries and interviews and reports. He studied over almost 1,000, like kind of high thousands, 1,500 twins, and about only 200 of them survived his experimentations.
Does it say why twins?
Like why he kind of did it?
Yeah, well, I mean, why twins? Why not children, females? Why the twins?
So he did have, this was his main specialty. Icky enough, he was a twin specialist. And there were a lot of other people that he was kind of focused on. I mean, at the time, racial hygiene included different races, predominantly at that time, Jews and the Romanis, or Gypsies. And they also really didn't enjoy kind of disabled people. If you had kind of any kind of scoliosis or any kind of cerebral palsy, like that was kind of a no-go if you were mentally ill.
Oh, yeah.
And so all of this kind of fell under to the purity. That's what they kind of were. Oh, you're mentally ill, you go to the gas chamber. Oh, you're mentally ill, you have to be sterilized. So forced sterilization was already running rampant across the whole community. But when it came down to the twins, the icky part of it was you had a control subject and you had your experiment subject, and they shared identical kind of bodies, DNA, everything. So he would take one twin, subject them to maybe a needless amputation or organ transplant or blood transfusion. All of this was always done without anesthesia, and pretty much let them kind of like suffer with it, whatever it was, like what's wrong with them. And then unfortunately euthanize both of them and then autopsy both of them to study how that kind of happened. And also twins at that time.
Wait, hold on a second.
You're good.
I completely lost the screen. We completely lost you.
I can see all of you.
I can't see. I can't see. Oh, I don't know what the hell.
All right, so just listen. Go ahead.
Keep going. Yeah.
Like I got it all. Yeah, no, it was just kind of at that time, like unless you had access to human studies, you really didn't know too much about the human body. And with twins at that time, when it came to the mass genocide, you had a lot of kind of just choosing between that, and it kind of just made for the perfect science experiment on both sides, and it was just a horrible way to kind of do it. So only a handful of these experiments actually like did anything for the medical community.
I was gonna say, so what were they just planning on I mean, obviously they're planning on hurting these twins just to find information. Just what was the reason why? Just if we can read each other's minds, or if you poke me, he can feel it. Is that what this whole thing was about?
There was some of that in the pseudoscience because I think the amongst like all of the torture and all of the pain, like there's so many levels of gruesome factors into this. I think that a lot of among that too, it is the fact that this was all based off of like really pseudoscience. Like this was like, how can we create the Aryan master race as quick as possible? And with twins, you had a genetic trait or hereditary trait, and you could identify that, isolate that with science. But then the main part where there was some usefulness was they also used these children because there are other children that weren't twin associated that just kind of got experimented on as well. Disease testing. That was like a big thing that they would use these kiddos for. And that unfortunately was like actually kind of useful in like further studies on less gruesome people, just more expansive studies in the future. But 11 kids got injected with infected hepatitis samples from soldiers during the battles just to kind of study like how does it move, how could we like get ahead of it, and like a lot of how that disease takes over and how it's kind of transmissed between other people was studied there. And that's actually kind of how we learned how to battle hepatitis. They did the same thing with typhus and tuberculosis as well.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just
So
it's really crazy. And unfortunately, a lot of it, really a lot of the leaning kind of support went into more of the racial purity aspect when it came to the twin studies.
so when
And
the twins died, they never got like arrested or never got accused of murder. It was under
No, it was
if
under the Nazi, you know,
oh, so you just
they
kind of threw away. Okay, so tell us some kind of test that they did. You said
so
something about they cut someone's leg off for no reason.
they would do a lot of like amputative studies, like how, how would what infections would kind of set into these wounds if left unkept, what kind of
Oh, okay.
issues would they have, what would that look like versus a healthy body that you have just sitting there. And so a lot of the time, there are a lot of survivors that have kind of their reports on it, but there is a couple of twins where one of them was subjected to the torture, a lot of organ transplants and blood transfusions. She unfortunately, like, she lived, but she had lifelong damages from those complications. And her sister, who was the control subject, is now a kind of educator on what kind of happened there and is like more of like kind of a main, just kind of representative of like what kind of testing really happened. And unfortunately, her sister did end up dying of like kidney complications from those test experiments. But most of them typically didn't get out to kind of share their stories. And I think that a lot of them could be capsulated with like the losses. These were Romany boys. They were about 4 years old. And this was one of his like most needless experiments. He wanted to kind of create his own genetic rarity where he took these kiddos and he kind of sewed them back to back to create his own Siamese twins and study that and like tried to create bloods. It was just a very gruesome kind of study. And those kids ended up kind of passing away a couple days later as well. And a lot of these don't get anesthesia. They don't get any kind of like painkillers because at that current time in history, these people weren't seen as people by the people they were being oppressed by.
So
And
were these twins like captured and tested, or was this a volunteer thing?
no, oh man, no, this was not.
Well, I don't know. Maybe they threw like flyers on a telephone pole,
Like,
$100,000
I'm 4 years
if you
old.
come
I'm
and let me
really close
torture
with my
you.
brother. Like, this sounds great.
Yeah.
So this was a lot of he was a lead selector. So when they would kind of bring in these train loads of Romanis and Jewish people, like he would be the one that would kind of decide, like, lifelong labor, testing, gas chamber. Then and that's just all he did all day long. And then he was also the lead researcher. So any kind of subjects that he felt looked healthy, felt looked interesting, he would just have them forwarded to his private little clinic down the street. And so that's where he got all of the access to all of these twins and got to kind of have specialized selection over them, is because he kind of had both jobs. And so
I think you'd be picked as a researcher.
me,
No, him. I mean, look at you. You look kind of.
I look mad sciency.
I mean, you don't look healthy, so I think they'd probably just jump on you.
Thanks.
Not you. I'm talking about him.
Oh,
I'm talking about the twins.
the twins, right?
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
it
I
makes
look
sense.
healthier than you. My hair looks nice. You look kind of like stressed out.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm just sitting there listening.
No, I think they would pick you to go for
They
research.
would pick me. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Oh
think you're a
yeah.
perfect candidate.
Yep.
I
You
To
know,
be
think they'd be like, "Hey,
it's like motherfucker, look at you. This guy's gonna complain.
motherfucker.
He's gonna complain one more fucking time. We're throwing him on the fucking chopping block. We're
Yeah.
gonna cut his leg off, and we're gonna see what happens to him.
they're gonna
Pull your
see
pants down.
what's
Pull
going
your
on with
pants.
the leg."
Pull your pants down, motherfucker.
Why is your penis 2 inches bigger?
Yeah.
And honestly, a lot of these kids, they were kind of treated like that because back to what happened in when the US eventually kind of raided these camps. A lot of these doctors, they did end up getting prosecuted. They did end up receiving a lot of these victims did get a lot of kind of at least court justice behind this.
And that was many years later. That was some of the people that survived would recognize them, and then they would be able to prosecute them years later.
See?
Mhm.
I mean, some of them were so old they couldn't even go to prison because they were already going to die. So
In like a
might as
year,
well die in
yeah.
prison. Yeah. So
Yeah, like a lot of them did get prosecuted because, like I said in the beginning, too, like he wasn't the only one kind of doing this. And unfortunately, what made it so easy for someone like this to thrive in that community is because there was already so much groundwork of the Nazis eradicating any kind of personal association with people they felt like were impure. There was already so much of that going on that the ideas of this white Aryan master race were so easy for them to entertain because a lot of these kids grew up seeing the Jews and the Romanis as less than anyways, which is kind of the illness that became the idea that made it easy for him to thrive in and make a career out of this, if that's what we wanted to even call this. And so for them, like it's kind of the same mentality as people testing on animals. They're just like, yeah, like it's a dog, and it's just sickening to know that that's what people had to go through. And the unfortunate part about this is that Joseph Mengele specifically was not prosecuted for his crimes, and he wasn't captured.
Oh, okay. That's what I was going to ask. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he actually ended up getting away and living he lived as happy of a life you could while living on the run. He mostly kind of lived in South America and kind of just jumped around to different towns out there. And he contacted his family, and his family they have nothing. They don't really kind of not support him. They kind of believe in what he believed in, and so they were supporting him, kind of sheltering him the entire time throughout his life as well. And I can't speak on what the current now relatives would have to say on that, but at that time when he ended up dying in the later 90s, he died of a heart attack or a stroke while swimming in the ocean.
Do you know how old he was?
I believe some say he was 78, some say he was about like 82. It was
so he lived a long life for torturing twins.
Yeah.
torturing people.
That's where I do think that like it is, I still think that they should like bring justice to it in the courts, even if we don't have, but it is what it is what that is, unfortunately, with like as far as further prosecution on someone who's passed. But like he definitely was one of the ones that was able to get away with his terrible crimes, but I on the hopes that like majority of them got caught.
Us twins are misread.
just
Yeah.
misunderstood.
Misunderstood us
Yeah.
twins.
Good.
We're just everybody's so confused and just misunderstood about us.
Yeah. After all
We're
this
just
testing.
really
Mystical
we just want to be normal people and left alone.
and read
Yes.
each other's
Just
minds.
want to be
And
loved.
and just read each
Kyle.
other's minds. So
Yeah,
and just for the record, Kayla did a lot of research. She's not a doctor. She's not a professional. I don't want to get the email saying that she's wrong. This is just what
oh yeah. So
she read.
umbrella. This is
And
such a
she's not a
summary.
doctor. She's not a scientist. She's not a journalist. She just wanted to come on, and we have the 20 an hour, and she wanted to and explore what she was reading. We appreciate her doing that because it's interesting.
Thank you
So,
for having me. That was
yeah.
so fun. I mean, honestly, it's gruesome, but it was so fun to do. Like this is my favorite genre of
It is
Podcast.
It is so fun to read
True
about
crime.
torture of twins.
Yeah.
It is fucking exciting.
History is pretty messed up.
Yeah. No, that's interesting because it's amazing because, like I said, I had someone asked us if we were planning on were we ever asked or wanted to do testing on twins. Well, I didn't know they still did it. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's like apparently the way she was saying on TikTok is they still do it. And I'm like, well, then I explained that you were going to be on this week, so you should follow. But I didn't think they still twins. I mean, what else do you got to test on twins?
No, it's interesting too because a lot I see. Obviously, we have nieces. I guess we'll call them nieces because there's a lot of people I know are having twins. It's like
Yeah.
it seems like there's a lot more twins coming. You know, at a world of age where nobody can afford a regular child, let's have two.
At
Yeah.
the same
You know.
time. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we've got two beautiful niece twins. Yeah, two
Aw.
beautiful girls. Yeah.
so yeah. All right. Now we got to ask the tough questions that we ask all our questions. What was
Wait,
your
wait,
first?
wait. Are we doing the twin questions or are we doing because she's
She's our
Gen
guest.
Z? Oh,
Oh, Gen Z. Yeah, well, yeah. Well, first is what was your first concert? Who'd you go with?
oh, that's right.
Oh man. So my first concert, I was probably like 13, 14. I went with an old childhood best friend, and it was called Skillet. Now I thought it was a rock and roll concert.
What, would you fucking go to Perkins?
I think it was at the Fiddler's Green. I think
What
and I
I-
went there and
the
I
fuck is
quickly
Skillet?
found out- I thought they were like a heavy metal, like underground band. Like I was so edgy. Come to find out they were actually a religious band, like a
Are they
Jesus
Skillet?
rock band. Skillet, like a rock and roll, hardcore, godly rock band. And I was just like, oh, no disrespect for that, like people that follow that, but I was
Skillet
a
at
little
Fiddler's
underprepared.
Green.
I was
So
just
I-
like crazy. I didn't get any of that from the music.
So, what was the first concert you actually went to that you actually knew the band and liked it? One of your favorite bands?
My favorite bands, I would say I went to another concert, Bear Grylls, when he was first getting started. He's a rave EDM guy. I went to some
Fuck
of
are these
his.
people?
Who the fuck are they?
The fuck- Are you
These
just
are-
are you just fucking throwing this shit out of your ass? I mean, what the hell? Isn't there like normal bands in those years?
Isn't Bear Grill the guy
Bill
that
Griggs
does?
is the
Isn't
military
he the guy that
makes
takes
you-
all the
That's
famous
one
people?
of them. That's one
Yeah.
of them.
He got all the knives and shit.
Yeah,
Isn't
no,
he-
that's the real one. The other
Okay.
guy is a DJ guy. I don't know what his real name is, but
All
Isn't
right.
Bear Grill the guy that's on TV that takes
Yeah.
all these actors and
That's what I'm saying. He's the
Yeah,
guy.
okay.
He's the
I'm the guy.
military. He's ex-military. And he sells all the knives, but he's the one that gets them across and does
He
all the
sells
adventures. Well, he's got a whole line. Are you kidding me? Go to Dick's Sporting Goods or go to that. He's got the whole
Oh,
knives and shovels and jackets and fuck yeah.
hats.
The fuck you been?
fuck that. Obviously not a Dick's.
No, he's not going down there.
Yeah.
Wow, it's where you
All right, so
So I guess the next band would be I love Falling in Reverse. I saw them recently with Dave. That's a rockin'. You guys don't know Falling in Reverse?
Oh,
Where have
fuck.
y'all been?
That's almost like the band Fucker.
how you spell that again?
FCUKER.
Okay,
It's a band that was at
Coachella.
Coachella, thank you.
Yeah.
I was going to say Stagecoach, but Coachella, the other one,
Now Stagecoach is where John
the
Elway,
country and western went
John
to.
Elway and his
No, he was at
longtime
a
friend
golf
got.
course.
No, he was coming from Stagecoach. That's where he was at the golf course.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, oh yeah, all these bands.
So okay,
No.
so what? You don't have to answer any of these questions. You could tell us to fuck off. What do you do for a living?
So, I sell bongs to smoke shops, you know.
There you go.
I sell bongs and I sell vapes to smoke and vape shops.
So you are like the connoisseur
Bronco
of.
distribution.
So,
Smoke shops are listening.
yeah, man, throw a sales pitch on her. Say that again.
Oh, it's Bronco distribution. Smoke shops.
Bronco
only,
distribution.
though.
Okay. So you're like the connoisseur of bongs and paraphernalia and
I'm
gummies
just
and
kinda,
weed.
yeah, like I'm the store that stores go to get all of their product and stuff. So I'm
No,
like
let's say this. She
stalker.
doesn't sell the weed. She sells the shit that we smoke it out of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Oh yeah, I
But
sell all, like the fun
Being a
stuff.
family member, when you ask her the question, she knows exactly what to do.
I
So
know.
she knows a little more than just selling bongs.
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, I had such a long weed career growing up. And then as soon as I was legally able to enjoy it, that's when I was like, let's make some money. So
Yeah.
like the bud tending and
Why
the
not?
rolling.
I love the word bud tending. When we all walked in together, it's like, yeah, go to your bud tender. I'm like, seriously, you're calling them bud tenders? That was fucking awesome. The bud tenders.
Like, yeah, okay.
Bud tending.
Yeah,
So-
you know, that was a really fun one. I did that through COVID. That was definitely an interesting one.
Trust
but
me, during COVID, we all need the weed as much as possible.
Yeah.
I needed to relax. Just
Yep.
chill.
I know
Chill.
once I retired, I'm gonna probably invest in some gummy bears. So I know that. 'Cause
Absolutely.
I got another
Okay, so next question.
7 years
Right
ago.
now, are you stoned?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Always. Especially on weekends.
You handle yourself pretty good. I'd be sleeping.
I know.
That's just
And I hate to say this, when I graduated from high school, my first experience smoking dope was at a friend of mine's house, and was after high school. It was after I graduated. It was 18, and we made a bong out of a gallon jug, a milk jug.
Yeah.
And then that was it. That was good. And literally, I fall asleep with a cigar. I mean, I laughed my ass off.
Oh yeah, me too.
This is in the 80s. And then I would fall asleep.
Yeah.
And then when I moved to Arizona, I moved with my father and worked in the casinos and stuff like that. I had a bunch of guys I used to run with, and they sell it, illegally. And there's a picture somewhere with me with a Tupperware of frickin' buds. But I'd fallen asleep with a cigar in my mouth, or
Well, that was my problem. I would smoke weed and I'd laugh my ass off and then fall asleep. Then wake up and I got makeup on my face. My toenails are painted. I'm like, I can't smoke anymore. I mean, it's embarrassing. I gotta get up and go to work. And when I was young, I mean, you woke up and went to work. You didn't have time to take a shower, and you're running into work, and you go to take a bathroom. You look in the mirror, and you got fucking makeup on.
Nail polish on. Or
I got nail polish on, and you're trying to get it off before you get on the floor. I worked for Levitt's Furniture at the time. I'm like, motherfuckers.
Yeah. No, I never. I haven't smoked. I did a gummy many years ago because my back hurt. Besides that, I haven't. What's funny is before I got the job I have now, I could do it all day. I should have.
Yeah. No. Yeah, me neither. I haven't done it in years.
Yeah. So.
No, honestly, I started way earlier than I should have. I started 12 years old. But I think that what people forget is the science of legalized marijuana has surpassed what anything you could find on the street ever was, unless you were somebody growing.
I would love to grow it.
Weed for a long time.
I want to grow one plant. I had a friend of mine sent me pictures, and he's 6 foot whatever, and he's got a 9-foot plant above his head. And he had. And of course, this is, I guess you're not only allowed to have 3 plants per, it doesn't matter if it's an ounce, but he had like 4 coffee cans full of pot that lasted him a year and a half. It's like,
yeah,
I want to
the weed,
one.
From what I understand, I wasn't a big weed smoker, but the weed now manufactured out of these companies are like 10 times stronger than the ditch weed we used to smoke back in junior high.
Oh, yeah. That's why we went straight to Coke in the 80s. Coke and White Crosses is what was my choice.
We did the White Crosses. I only did Coke a couple times.
Have you heard of White? Wait. Have you heard of White Crosses?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
It's
White Crosses is like a speed. And it's just a little white pill with a cross on it, and it was speed and cheap. and it made your
Yeah.
hair tingle. It was
Yeah.
like, woo! You're like,
It was a, it was
You
like
have
a
hair
couple.
like
It was like a
mine.
couple pots. It was like a couple pots of coffee at one time.
yeah. It
Yeah.
was. It got you.
You're
Yeah.
like woo woo. Yeah.
And they're not manufacturing these anymore because I drink a lot of coffee. I'm like,
Yeah,
wait,
I
hold
know,
on.
that's-
Well, they
Now they
do,
just-
but they're legally. They're it's like pre.
Yeah.
It's all in pre-workout. They've got,
Yeah.
So it's watermelon flavored now.
Yeah. So it's. I
That's
mean,
what I'm
it's
grabbing.
just
Yeah. Comes in a powder and a scoop now.
You get your speed and your BCAA.
Yes.
I like this.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I haven't done. I think alcohol is the only thing I've done is cigars.
Yeah, in the '80s, we did a little.
Yeah, that's all.
yeah,
The only
little-
bad thing I do is
little
drink a
white
little,
powder.
smoke a little cigars,
I know you're zinning. You're there with a little zin.
a little zin, yeah, little nicotine pouch, everything. My company does drug testing, so I can't do any of that stuff.
Yeah, neither can I. So right now, I need my
So
job.
we stay legal, just in case anybody from my company listening.
Yep.
They're clean.
We're clean. So, all right. Well, that probably puts it all out right there. We got about 3 minutes left. You got anything else to say there?
You got any questions for us?
How are you guys doing? How's everything? What are you guys gonna do for Mother's Day?
Well, since
I'm
our
pretty-
mother's dead, nothing.
Yeah.
Still have wives that are moms.
Why? Well, they're moms, but they're
Hey,
not
my
our moms.
They're not my mom.
I'm working on my sprinklers. As soon as this is done, I got to go turn them on. Let's see if they work. Mowed my lawn.
No, Jen's out with Sammy, and then we saw David this morning at church, and then I've got. I want to pull the
Kathy's-
I kind of want to pull the Harley out and clean it up and get the garage cleaned up, and I got to mow my patch, my little lawn.
You're Brazilian.
And then that's it. I got to pack and travel tomorrow, so I'll be spending the
Yeah.
night packing. So,
Oh,
which,
nice.
which only takes me 20 minutes anyways to pack.
Yeah.
But
Nice. Where are they taking you out this time? Going back?
going to Utah.
Nice.
Utah.
Back to Utah.
You got to go visit your mom.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. Little barbecue with Dave, the kids.
Big Dave. Where's Big Dave?
Big Dave.
Oh, he's hiding.
Probably VRing. It's probably
Yeah, that was something else.
What
Did
the
you
fuck
like
is
it?
what the fuck is VVRing?
That's the thing you put around your face.
It's like this big, and it's
It's
like,
like-
in a different world.
Oh fuck.
I was playing
Double
golf.
D!
I was playing golf the other
Looking
day.
good, brother.
I was playing golf the other day. And I started-
Opie!
Opie do. Oh, he's over here somewhere.
I was
He
playing golf the
listening.
other day, and I started walking, and David had to stop me before I fell into the TV. Because you got,
No,
yeah.
again, and I know we don't have time. I never got to experience any of the video games.
Well, this was last week.
I know, but still.
I'll have to send you a
David
picture
still
of it.
plays video.
No, we just recently had we're learning VR in the apartment, and I just recently we had to make a new rule of hey, this is definitely a teammate thing where if you see the animals are too close and you're the outsider, just let the person inside know. Cause I was doing this game where it's Beat Saber and you're just karate chopping. You're going crazy. And I totally smacked the shit out of one of my cats. And
Not
I
just that.
felt
And I
so
believe
bad.
it. Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. The pussy probably deserved it.
And she was all up in my grill. She was all
Yep. It's usually where pussy's at.
Usually.
Usually. So every once in a while, you got to beat that pussy.
Yeah.
I'm not- we need to
That's
put
just
it on a
wrong.
shirt.
That's just wrong.
I
Put
bet
it on
you.
the shirt.
That's just
you,
wrong.
Hey, but you knew I was going to say that.
I knew that because we're
You knew
twins.
you were going to say
Yeah,
that.
because mentally I knew you were going to say
saw
that.
It was
Yeah.
oh.
All right, everybody.
But guys,
Everybody
thank you
like,
for having me.
subscribe.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you for coming. That'd be awesome. And next time we'll do some more research on something else and we'll have you on again. Appreciate
Absolutely.
that.
I'll get anytime you guys want to get
Yeah.
your day's ruined. I'll be here.
All right, so we're on all social medias. Like, subscribe. Thanks to Kay. Say Happy Mother's Day to your mom.
Happy
Yep.
Mother's
Yeah.
Day.
Kayla.
Happy Mother's Day,
we,
Jen.
we call her Kay, so it's Kayla. So
My
peace
Raggedy Ann doll.
That's
People
right.
that are my age. Peace.
out. Love out. Love
See
you.
ya.
Love
Bye.
you guys.
As soon as I figure out how to hit record, stop recording.